Janet Nepales, GMA7. Hi, James. Congratulations on a
Hi,
complete.
Janet. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. So, can you please tell us the genesis of this project and what inspired you to do a Bob Dylan movie?
Well, as you know, I like making movies about artists, and I even think of my car movie, Ford versus Ferrari, as a movie about artists, about creation, about the kind of the fight to make something against the system or new that no one's seen before. Um, uh, and of course, I made a movie 20 years ago about Johnny Cash, which was a great experience for me. So when I saw this book about Dylan's early years and going electric, and there was a team of people who had bought it and were interested in making a movie, I became very interested in helping adapt it and shaping it because it seemed to me, I mean, in a very simple way, to make a movie not just about Bob Dylan, that's the subject in a specific way, but about genius, um, how we relate to brilliance, how we us regular mortal non-genius people relate to genius and what it feels like to be a person who is blessed with a talent that even you might not understand. Even Bob, when I spoke with him, would say he doesn't know where those songs came from. They just came. And the idea of this young man, a complete unknown, arriving in Manhattan with a few dollars in his pocket to meet a hero, and within a year he has got a record deal at Columbia, and within 2 years he is a sensation. And that the way that balance works, I almost thought we were making kind of like an Amadeus in the folk music world, because as much as Amadeus is about Mozart, it's also much more about Salieri and the king and his wife and the other characters and by how they're affected by the presence of someone who these brilliances come out of. And I don't know if that's a word, brilliances, but I will make it one today. And um, because being talented, having a gift is also a kind of burden in that it separates you from other people. And I thought these were all interesting themes to make the movie about.
Yeah. And talk about casting Timothée Chalamet as Bob Dylan and making him actually sing the songs. Why do you think he is the perfect actor to portray Bob Dylan?
Well, I think he's one of the most gifted actors of his generation, first of all. And I even thought that 5 years ago when we first started working on this together. I also wanted someone who was truly young, who could embody this version of Dylan that we don't know. The before people were taking pictures and making documentaries, this man who was almost still a boy, and before he turns 23 has written 10 or 15 of the most important songs of the century. The To me, that's in and of itself, that's so interesting. Um and you add to that his unique character and his attitude and his um but if anything, I was not out to make him into an idol or to further put him on a pedestal, but was to better understand him,
Mhm.
to understand him as a human being. What does it feel like to be Bob Dylan? That's something you can't do that in a documentary or a book. What does it feel like? What does it feel like to feel all these people screaming your name or wanting you, and you're not even sure, you know, what they want? And anyway, all these things are very interesting to me.
And talk about choosing Monica Barbera to portray Joan Baez. And did you actually talk to Joan too about this movie?
I didn't, but Monica spoke to Joan, and um, I and Joan had read the parts of the script that related to her music or her character, and uh, Monica, I knew I needed a character. I needed an actress with immense gravity, with power, quiet power, also singing power, but that's a separate thing. But what I first needed more than anything was a young woman who could actually be a little intimidating to Bob. And that because I always felt this kind of attraction between them, but also a little bit of a competitive energy. Like they are both peers and they are both speaking to the same ears and at the same time through their voices and guitars very differently. You know, she has a perfect voice and is really beautiful, and he's kind of more of an oddball and has an imperfect voice, but he writes all his songs, and she doesn't write so many. So they have talents in slightly different areas that make each of them each of them a little off balance. But Monica, I really needed an actress with power, with quiet power, and kind of dignity, and a kind of that I thought Timmy could bounce off of in a wonderful way.
Well, thank you very much, and more power to you.
Oh, thank you so much, Janet. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye bye.